Hello, everybody, and welcome to race 33 of Season 7 NNSCRA Walmart Cup Series, also the 7th race in the chase for the championship. After this race, we have 3 races left of the chase and of the season, so we're getting closer to finding out who's going to be our Season 7 champion. Hi, I'm Levi McIntyre, aka Thrash Maniac 99, the voice of NNSCRA Walmart Cup Series, here to welcome you to the England 400 at Rockingham UK. Joining me on co-commentary, please welcome Mr. David Rivera. How you doing, David?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good too. But let's take a look at see how the the chase points come into this race. Dorian Facepuncher still leads the points by 6 points over last week's winner, who got his second win of the season, Zachary Fitzwater. So he moved up to second, 6 points out. 7 points out is David Rivera. 12 points out is Jesse Setti. 16 points out is Chris Washer. 22 points out is Michael Norman. And 24 points out is James Silverfox. Everybody behind are going to have to get some good runs going to get back up into the hunt. 42 points out is Chris Michaels. 44 points out is Angel Navarro. 48 points out is Charles Jackson. 57 points out are both P.J. Williams and Stephen Pollard III. 60 points out is Preston Plord, and then I think it's safe to say the one driver that's virtually eliminated from the title hunt is Charles Sanford, who is 98 points out of the points lead. But and then also the battle for 15th. Danny Wells still has that spot. Then it's Dylan Thoreau, Joshua Collard, Bob Jones, James McLeod, and Chase Oliver. So that is what it looks like in the battle for the 15th spot outside the chase looks. But look at the top 10 starting lineup. Rookie Benjamin Miles is on the pole for this race. Then it's Bob Jones. Highest chasing qualifier is David Rivera, then James Silverfox, Dylan Young, Ian Dutta, Pichu London, Dorian Facepuncher, Jesse Setti, and then Rue McIntyre round out the top 5. So you have 4 chasers starting in the top 10 with Rivera, Silverfox, Facepuncher, Setti. And then starting in the last row will be Tweenix teammates Chase Oliver and Danny Wells. But let's go ahead and get the command to fire engines here at Rockingham UK.
Drivers, start your engines.
And there you have it. So, David, with this racetrack where if you get a run on the bottom lane, you can make an easy pass. And if you're up high, you're going to get shuffled to the back. So, with that said, who do you think is going to come away victorious here at Rockingham UK?
Well, with that being said, I'm actually going to go with Dylan Young on this one as my main pick at the moment.
Interesting. I'm going to go with that 22 of Jesse Setti because she's been somewhat consistent this chase. She does fall back off the pace after a couple races, but then she comes right back. After last week finishing third in that wild finish at Dover, she moved up and is now only 12 points out, so she can easily get the points lead over that car right there, Dorian Facepuncher, who also has a good chance of winning this race. Same can be said for Rivera and Silverfox. But we'll see what happens here. But this racetrack, it's very roomy. You can make a lot of passes here. You can potentially go 3 wide and make it work, but double wide's the way to go. 3 wide, you can make it work, but just don't lean or bounce off the wall, and you should be okay, considering the speed of these cars are. Pace cars in pit road, which means it's time to get to racing. And here we go. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys and girls.
Let's do this thing.
Benjamin Miles gets off to a pretty good jump on that start. And Rivera's going to get the edge of being on the inside line to get second from Bob Jones. Well, and we already get a wreck, and it looks like Chris Washer goes around and Cody Lamas, and Chris Washer's car is done. Danny Wells, Johnny Gardner, Joshua Balkin, Anthony McCrory, Dylan Thoreau get damaged. But look at the damage on Gardner's car, completely crushed. Already in the beginning of the race, we get a caution. But man, oh man, that was a close call for a few drivers that may have almost gotten involved. But let's take a look and see what brought the caution out for the first time. Oh, wait a minute, it looks like pit stop's happening. Now with this pit road, you've got to keep an eye on that angled pit wall, because for some reason, I still don't know why, but drivers seem to have a tendency of hitting that pit wall. Alright, let's see. Oh, they all just scrape it. Let's see if anybody directly hits it, and so far no one has. They all just scrape it, so they're all going to have right side damage. McLeod does the smart thing and move to the left. So they're all going to have scraped right sides. Chase Oliver gets by it, as well as everybody else back here. Balkan hit it pretty good, but he still kept it straight. And looks like Benjamin Miles got out of the pits first, then Dylan Young, then Dorian Facepuncher, David Rivera, Pichu London. So that's what's going to be our top 5 going into the restart. But let's go ahead and take a look at a replay of what brought the caution out for the first time today here at Rockingham, UK. Well, they were trying to go 3 wide pretty early on, and it was just a misjudgment that happened. Kyle Matthews is running there, and then here comes Michael Norman with a run. His car gets tight, slides up into Kyle Matthews, and that's going to turn the 24 up into Dylan Thoreau. And then right there was the hit to Chris Washer that virtually ended his day. Angel Navarro was involved. I didn't see that. And then everybody just starts scrambling to try to find a hole to go through to make it out of the wreck. So many other cars get pretty damaged. Kyle Matthews ended up going upside down. Gonna find out who hit him. And oh, it was Navarro and McCrory, a combination of the two that put the 24 over on his lid. And then he comes back down on all 4 tires. But so many cars end up getting involved. And there's Washer's car, just from that slight hit from when the 24 came back down. It hit him in that one spot on the right side of the car that just damages it up. And Navarro looks like his chase hopes might have ended right there. But let's go ahead and take you to the restart here at Rockingham, UK. Well, after that last caution, we have several cars out of the race, and they include Dylan Thoreau, Joshua Balkan, Danny Wells, Anthony McCrory, Chris Washer, Kyle Matthews, Angel Navarro, Johnny Gardner, and Joshua Collard. Zachary Fitzwater's a lap down, but that's because he came in the pit road too soon. But he's still up to speed, no damage. Benjamin Miles is the leader. Second is Dylan Young. Third is Dorian Facepuncher. Fourth, David Rivera. Fifth is Pichu London. Sixth is Bob Jones. Seventh, Ian Dutta. Eighth, Charles Sanford. Ninth, James Silverfox. 10th, Rue McIntyre. Rest of the top 20 is James McLeod, Jesse Setti, Charles Jackson, Michael Norman, Trent Dunham, Kyle Corbett, Stephen Pollard III, Chase Oliver, Chris Michaels, Jessica Sheldon. The rest of the top 30 is Austin LaPlante, Preston Plord with no hood. Then Dougie Shears, Tanner Sullivan, PJ Williams, Jessica Villanueva, Matt McIntyre, Seth Cole, Jeffrey Rose, Sean Galligan. Final 2 lead lap cars, Cody Lamas and Dylan Poteet. Green flag back out here at Rockingham, UK with 29 laps to go.
Alright.
I don't know if Fitzwater is off the pace or not. I think he is. He might have... I'm not sure why, because he didn't get hit by anybody or hit anything. And whoa, there goes Kyle Corbett around.
So almost.
Nobody else hit him. Nobody else hit him somehow.
Yeah.
But Kyle Corbett gets turned. Dylan Young gets the lead. So he's going to be leading us to this caution. Dorian Facepuncher gets to second. But already, again, another caution. It must have been another case of cars coming down into somebody and not giving each other room. Let's see what happened. It looked like just dive bombing just did not work. And Jessica Sheldon comes up into Chase Oliver into Kyle Corbett. And that's what's going to turn Corbett around. And Matt McIntyre actually did hit the 56. So I was wrong to say that nobody hit him. It was the 14 of Matt that hit the 56 of Corbett. But other than that, that was what happened. Let's go ahead and take you to the restart here at Rockingham, UK. Well, after that last caution, 2 more cars retired out of the race. Kyle Corbett, Matt McIntyre. Dylan Young is now the race leader. Second is Dorian Facepuncher. Third, Benjamin Miles. Fourth is David Rivera. Fifth, Pichu London. Sixth is Ian Dutta. Seventh is Charles Sanford. Eighth, Bob Jones. Ninth, Charles Jackson. 10th, Michael Norman. And then the rest of the top 20 is Stephen Pollard, the third. Trent Dunham, Jesse Setti, Rue McIntyre, James McLeod, Chris Michaels, Jessica Sheldon, Austin LaPlante, James Silverfox, and Tanner Sullivan. Rest of the top 30, Chase Oliver, Dougie Shears, PJ Williams, Jessica Villanueva, Jeffrey Rose, Sean Galligan, Cody Lamas, Preston Plord, Dylan Poteet, Seth Cole, and then Zachary Fitzwater a lap down. Now, I'm almost curious, because I'm feeling like that caution also was a factor of cars trying to get around the 9 car. I'm almost wondering that he must have spun his tires really bad on that restart, or he is damaged. We'll see here this time on this restart. Let's watch the 9. Green flag is going to be out with 24 to go. Yeah, I think he is off the pace. He must have gotten involved somehow in that wreck. But let's look on the right side to see if he has damage. No, he doesn't have damage. I don't know why he's so off the pace for. I really don't know. Whoa, and he comes up in the McLeod, and McLeod's going to get turned. Now, that was a factor of the 9 car right there. He turned, it made McLeod get hit, and he gets up in the Sheldon, and the caution's out again. Battle for the lead. Who's going to get the lead coming to the line? It's going to be a drag race. I think Facepuncher got it. Just barely, though. Dorian Facepuncher's now going to be the leader. Let's go ahead and quickly see what happened to bring the caution out once again for the 3rd time here at Rock in the UK. Now, this caution was definitely Zachary Fitzwater's fault because he was slow, and McLeod had a run, and he gets up in the McLeod, and there was a second portion of the crash that happened. It was more cars trying to scramble on by, and it looks like Austin LaPlante gets into his teammate Jessica Sheldon up into Chris Michaels, and that's how those two got involved. So it was another wreck that happened after the McLeod-Fitzwater collision. But either way, that's what brought the caution out. Let's go ahead and take you to the restart again here at Rockingham, UK. Excuse me. No cars retired out of the race after that last caution. Next time by, it'll be 19 to go. Dorian Facepuncher's the leader. Second, Dylan Young. Third is Benjamin Miles. Fourth, David Rivera. Fifth, Ian Dutta. 6th, Pichu London. 7th, Charles Sanford. 8th, Charles Jackson. 9th, Stephen Pollard III. 10th is Trent Dunham. Rest of the top 20 is Michael Norman, Jesse Setti, Bob Jones, Austin LaPlante, Tanner Sullivan, Chase Oliver, PJ Williams, Sean Galligan, James Silverfox, Dougie Shears. Rest of the cars on the lead lap in the top 30. Cody Lamas, Jeffrey Rose, Jessica Villanueva, Dylan Poteet, Seth Cole, Preston Plord, Rue McIntyre, Michael Norman, Jessica Shelton, and Chris Michaels. Zachary Fitzwater still 1 lap down. And I feel after that last incident, he shouldn't even be out on the racetrack. But hopefully he'll learn and just let cars go by, so that way we can get a green flag run in here. Because they can do it. It's just they need to find a way by that slow 9 car, which I really still don't know how he's off the pace. But everybody better be careful.
Oh, whoa.
Pollard with a risky move going low, but he's going to make it work. Let's keep an eye out on this and see what's going to happen with this.
Hold it together.
So far, they're keeping it together. All they got to do is just go by that 9, and they should be okay. And I think for the most part they're going to be good. And that was our first real green flag lap we had. And Face Puncher still leads. Benjamin Miles now up to second again. And now we're going to see some good racing going on up here at the front of the field. David Rivera battling with Charles Jackson. I would say that's for the 8th position, I want to say, perhaps. And now he's going to get really scrambled up high as he's about to get bypassed by a lot of cars. Wow, look at that. They were nearly 4 wide right there. I don't know about making that move. And whoa! Can they keep it together? Yes, they do keep it together. But Sanford, that's going to cost him a lot of spots. And he was running in the 7th position at the time of that happening. But man, that is a tough break for Sanford. He was hoping to make something work and get a good finish during this chase. But now that's going to be taken away from him. Last time by, he was scored 19th as a result of that near crash that occurred. But Dorian Face Puncher continues to lead this race. And now everybody has officially gone by Fitzwater except for Chris Michaels. But then again, he's off the pace as a result of that wreck. And Face Puncher still leads. Let's see how the top 10 looks currently. Next time by, it'll be 14 to go. Dorian Face Puncher leads. Second is Benjamin Miles. Third is Dylan Young. Fourth, Ian Dutta. Fifth is Pichu London. Sixth is Michael Norman. Seventh is Tanner Sullivan now. Eighth, actually no, seventh is Stephen Pollard III. Eighth is Tanner Sullivan. Ninth is going to be David Rivera. 10th, Bob Jones, now under attack from Charles Jackson. Oh, wait a minute. We had another incident. James McLeod is damaged, and he gets hit by Chris Michaels. I don't know if that's a caution. No, we're still green. I think it's because it was towards the back of the field. It didn't affect anybody, but McLeod is now for sure going to be out of the race. But man, oh man, that is a tough break for McLeod. He's had some good runs lately, and now it gets taken away again, and now the caution is out. Cody Lama's damaged. Seth Cole's wrecked. Preston Plord on pit road. Must have been another multi-car deal that happened. But Face Puncher still leads the way after that nice green flag run we had. Let's take a look and see what brought the caution out for the 4th time today here at Rockingham, UK. Well, here's a look at what happened with James McLeod first. It looks like Lamas gets really tight off the corner. Is going to come up in the McLeod. Cody Lamas does. And man, a hard hit, hard impact on the driver's side, first into the wall. No safer barrier, and that actually ended up turning the 51 over on his roof. That was how hard of a hit it was for McLeod, that he got hit and it made him turn over. And there's where Chris Michaels comes in, sideswipes to 51 after that melee. Now let's try and find out what happens to Seth Cole. Oh, we had another, or was that just smoke from the McLeod incident? Well, no, Charles Jackson got turned. And it was by David Rivera, and this was up inside the top 10. Rivera's going to do the same thing Lamas did and just got tied off the corner with a run. Comes up and is going to turn Charles Jackson around. Jackson goes around, hits the right side into the wall. And oh man, I've got a bad feeling he's probably going to come back on the racetrack. Oh, Galligan just barely gets clipped. Oh yeah, there it was. Man, that was a hard impact. And right, it was towards the left rear wheel, not toward the driver's door, but Seth Cole took a hard, vicious hit. Same with Jackson. My goodness gracious. And that's another chaser that wanted to get a good run in Jackson. He had it going, and then just gets dumped by the 6. But look at Seth Cole coming right there, and Llama's nowhere to go. Look at Charles Sanford get through that mess. Same with Sheldon Joe's sideswipe. Did sideswipe Seth Cole, and then Preston Plord just slams into Seth Cole. And that was pretty much the final nail in the coffin for Preston Plord to get a second straight championship. So, that is a tough break there for a lot of those cars. But let's go ahead and take you to the restart here at Rockingham UK. Well, after that last caution, more cars retired out of the race, and they include Jessica Sheldon, Austin LaPlante, who somehow was... I guess he and Sheldon must have got into each other on pit road. Charles Jackson, Seth Cole, Cody Lamas, Preston Plord, and James McLeod. 23 cars left on the lead lap, 24 on track. Benjamin Miles is now the leader after Dorian Facepuncher went in the pit road. Second is Dylan Young, third Ian Dutta, fourth Michael Norman, fifth is now Stephen Pollard the third. So you got two chasers running fourth and fifth in the top 5. Then sixth is Pichu London, seventh is Tanner Sullivan, 8th Bob Jones, 9th James Silverfox, 10th Trent Dunham. Rest of the top 20, David Rivera, Dougie Shears, Jesse Setti, Chase Oliver, Rue McIntyre, Jessica Villanueva, Charles Sanford, Dorian Facepuncher, PJ Williams, Jeffrey Rose. Rest of the lead lap cars, Dylan Poteet, Chris Michaels, and Sean Galligan. Zachary Fitzwater lap down, but not up here at the front, which is a good thing. And now, we're getting set for 8 laps of racing left. And here we go. And Benjamin Miles got off. I don't know if he got off to a better restart or if Dylan Young just spun his tires a little bit. Because F41 got off to a big gap. And now here comes Ian Dutta underneath for second. Didn't quite get there quick enough, though, is the thing. And now Dylan Young with a run to the inside of Benjamin Miles for the lead. And Dylan Young leads that lap. And we are still clean and green here at Rockingham UK. Dorian Facepuncher, the only one I think who may have... one of the only ones that pitted under that last caution. He's going to have the fresher tires, so he's already moving his way up along the field. Last time by, he was scored 17th. He's trying to get by a bunch of cars. But, oh man, look up ahead. It looked like they were 4 wide for a second.
Yeah.
But they settle it out, which is good. And now Michael Norman is the leader. This would be big for Michael Norman because he comes in this race 6th in the standings, 22 points out of the points lead. So this will put him right up there in the top 5. Whoa, Benjamin Miles nearly gets sideways with contact from Dutta. And now 4 wide. 4 wide for second. This can't end well. Oh, but they settle it somehow. Tanner Sullivan was the lucky driver in that. He gets up to the second spot.
Wow.
But still plenty more time left for these drivers to catch that 3, although that 3's got a huge lead of almost a second and a half
Yeah.
over Tanner Sullivan. As far as who else in the chase is up here, you got Pollard and Rivera still up in the mix, and then Silver Fox and Seti battling on the outside of the top 10, and Dorian Facepuncher trying to make something work because he's in the picture as well, as it's 4 laps to go here in this race. But oh man, they were starting to get a little wobbly right there. Michael Norman's enjoying all those drivers racing hard behind him. And now Dylan Young's going to get the second position. Oh, wait a minute. Pit stops are happening. Who would have thought this race would come down to pit strategy? Oh, man, this is going to be big.
There's going to be a change up here for sure.
And I think this might have worked out for Dorian Facepuncher because he pitted earlier. He might get the lead back if Norman and company can't make it the rest of the way. The only cars that didn't pit were Norman, Sullivan, Miles, Rivera, Poteet, London, Silver Fox, Seti, Oliver, Villanueva. Actually, a lot of cars stayed out. Not a whole lot pitted, actually. Oh, but now here they come. Here comes Michael Norman, the leader in the pit road. David Rivera going to stay out. Rivera going to try to risk it with 2 laps to go. Can he make it, though? And he's got a charging Dylan Poteet right behind him.
Now this is going to be interesting right here.
Although the guy who's thinking he could be in the catbird seat is that guy in 4th, Dorian Facepuncher, who pitted under that last caution. So we know he's good to go on fuel. Rivera, Poteet, London going to risk it again. Same with P.J. Williams, who's having a good run. What could be another good point save for him. White flag is out for David Rivera to get his 3rd win of the season, to tie for the most with Galligan and P.J. Williams.
Amazing.
But does he have enough fuel to make it to the end? Let's see. It's going to be very, very close.
Time will tell now.
And a couple cars battling in front of him. I think he's good to go. Checkered flag. David Rivera wins the England 400 at Rockingham, UK after a crazy turn of events with pit stops coming into play. Unbelievable. What a job for Rivera. So he's going to have some momentum going into these final 3 races coming up at North Carolina, Kansas, and Armory Digital. Holy balls. But let's take a look at the rest of the results. Dylan Poteet, great job finishing in the 2nd position. Pichu London, great run in 3rd. Dorian Facepuncher thought he could have maybe won if everybody else in front of him had to pit, but he's going to come away with 4th. So it's looking like he'll keep the points lead potentially. P.J. Williams, another good run for him in 5th. So Williams has kind of been on a bit of a hot streak lately. He gets a 5th place finish to put him even more into contention. Actually, he has the most wins at 4. Never mind. But Williams, that's going to help him out in the point standing. So he's trying his hardest to get back in the mix. Charles Sanford, great run in 6th. Jeffrey Rose, the highest finishing rookie, in 7th. Sean Galligan, great run in 8th. And how about Chris Michaels? What a comeback for him. The guy ended up involved in a few wrecks, comes back and gets a 9th place run. And then Michael Norman, another chaser, finishing in the top 10 in 10th. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chase drivers finishing in the top 10. Unbelievable. Rest of the lead lap cars were Dylan Young, Tanner Sullivan, Trent Dunham, Benjamin Miles, James Silverfox, Jessica Villanueva, Ian Dutta, Dougie Shears, Jesse Seti, Bob Jones. Next 4 cars finished a lap down: Rue McIntyre, Stephen Pollard III, Chase Oliver, Zachary Fitzwater. Everybody else was out of the race after all the wrecks that occurred. Jessica Shelton, Austin LaPlante, Charles Jackson, Seth Cole, Cody Lamas, Preston Plord, James McLeod, Kyle Corbett, Matt McIntyre, Dylan Thoreau, Joshua Balkin, Danny Wells, Anthony McCrory, Chris Washer, Kyle Matthews, Angel Navarro, Johnny Gardner, and Joshua Collard. But anyways, thank you guys for watching the England 400 at Rockingham, UK, and I'd like to thank David Rivera for stopping by the booth.
No problem. My pleasure.
Now we've got 3 races to go in this chase for the championship and the season. Next up, we head over to North Carolina Speedway in Rockingham for the next race, and then we go to Kansas, and then the plate track of Armory Digital. But until then, here are your results, rookie points, and regular points heading into North Carolina, and this is Levi McIntyre signing off.